Hi everybody, hope everybody's doing fine. Of course I haven't been vlogging much. I can't say that not a whole lot has been going on because I've been busy. But my busy has to do with someone that has been in the hospital. I had to go down to Corpus Christi and spend a week down there last week taking care of someone. Okay, I'll come out with it. He is my husband, but we're separated. He's quite a bit older than me, and he actually lives in a senior facility. Not a home, but a senior apartment type living. And of course a whole lot of stuff happened before that led to the separation, but we still remain friends. So, and unfortunately, because of his status of not taking very good care of himself, it has led to compromised health. I really hate to bring this up while he's still around. However, him nor any of his family watch my videos, so I guess it's okay. Plus, it's kind of important to get this message out there to those that are willing to grasp the concept of this message and go forth with it and make it of use to themselves or others. Okay, so here's how it goes. For one, I'm a little hippie girl today. I don't have any makeup on. My hair is wild. You know what? I don't care. I got sick in the hospital. I still have a little bit of that trailing with me. So, besides all that. Okay, so not even my friends really know what happened. I'm a private person and I tend to keep my life private as far as personal things go in my life. So, we'll just put it this way. He was an alcoholic and he hit rock bottom with his alcoholism. And then this is not an easy video to make, okay? And so then he, after Hurricane Ike, we lost our house. You know, sold it. We buy ugly people, broke even on it, blah blah blah. And his family lives in Corpus Christi, so I put him on a bus to Corpus Christi. Couldn't take it anymore, and I didn't need to, and I didn't need to be dragged down to his level. No one needs that. So if you're going through that, and if they're not willing to help themselves, there's no point in, well, everybody's individual, so I can't say that there's no point in sticking out with them with it, but everybody's an individual in that regard. So, but I had hit my maximum tolerance of it all. He went to Corpus Christi. He had to sober up the moment he got there. Both of his parents had Alzheimer's, so he found himself being the caretaker of his parents. And I think maybe perhaps sometimes he still snucks friends, I don't know. But, you know, he was threatened that if he had drank, he would be kicked out. So, and again, I'm keeping all this, you know, no names, no nothing. But, so anyhow, he sobered up, and unfortunately, during that process, he had discovered he had stage 4 stomach cancer and stage 4 lung cancer. By some miracle of God, he survived those, and is to this day still cancer-free. And this was what, during Ike, which 2009, 2008, something around there. You know, it's funny, I blocked that date out of my head. I just cannot remember that date. But anyhow, he's been cancer-free since, which has been great. He however, he continued to smoke. He's a heavy smoker. He smoked since the day I met him. He did not smoke in the house, but me being a non-smoker, and I have lung issues from a lung injury from chemicals years ago, stripping linoleum off of a floor, the chemicals would poof in my face and damage my lungs to some degree, so certain days I don't breathe as well, such as that. No biggie. I'm alive, I'm healthy, so it's no real biggie. But anyhow, I don't even know why I got on that track. But, so he was a smoker. And the smoking also has taken a toll on him. He has had to have had quadruple bypass surgery. He has stents in his neck, stents in his legs. You know, went through that with flying colors. I'll tell you, the guy's a cat. He has 9 lives. He absolutely has 9 lives. But sadly, he hasn't quit smoking. He's had other health issues along the way. But, you know, my point is, please take care of yourselves. Please don't fall into the alcoholism. Please don't fall into dependencies of drugs and such. Please don't smoke. If you can at all stop, please stop. Okay, so last year, one of his stents was no longer working. He wasn't getting proper circulation to his right leg. So they put a pig valve type stent in it, or pig valve vein, artery, as you know, as a resort to try to help him. And a year later that failed. And he lost the circulation to his right leg, which is extremely dangerous because it also compromises the oxygen flow and the blood flow through your heart and your circulatory system. So, on the downside, he is not diabetic, so do not assume that everybody that has had amputations are diabetics. He had to have his leg amputated last week. His right leg. He had to have it amputated right here to about this point. And they left a lot of room to work with, you know, in case it doesn't heal properly. But he's handling it very, very, very well. I'm amazed. I am absolutely amazed at how well he's handling. And he's very much aware that he's done this to himself. And he's also very much aware of how lucky he is to still be on this earth. And I hope he continues to stay on this earth. I don't want to lose him, you know, just because I'm not with him anymore. We're still good friends. We still talk every night. We text all the time. You know, we're always going to have a relationship of some sort. And he needs, you know, everybody needs somebody in their life. Everybody needs someone to depend on in their life. And I'm that person. Besides his family, alongside his family, I'm that person. So I went to the hospital. And one thing about surgeries like this, if at all possible, go to the hospital, stay with your loved one. It's not an easy situation to be in. It is not an easy situation whatsoever. They had him on heavy doses of morphine for his pain. He does not grasp the concept of the pain chart. So he kept telling them that his pain was higher. Yes, before the surgery, his pain was extremely, extremely high. So they had him on heavy doses of morphine, which caused hallucinations. So that was the not so fun part, kind of. And the reason I say stay with them is because it took a burden off the nurses, it took a burden off the hospital staff. I took that burden upon myself, and I can't even really say it was a burden for me, but for nurses and such, it would be more of a burden because they've already got so much on their plate. And you know, and a lot of patients to tend to and such on their shifts. So he got his days and nights mixed up. I truly thought he had dementia. I really, truly thought he had dementia. And I even told his sister. I really, truly thought he had dementia. But as it turns out, it was the morphine that did this. After getting back and talking to some friends and such, because all of a sudden he's cognitive again after the surgery. So, and once he's off the morphine, he was cognitive again. So that wasn't, the morphine was the issue. No dementia there. He'd say, he'd get up at midnight. He'd go, come on, let's go. And I'd say, where are we going? And he said, we're going to the courthouse. We have to go. We have to be there by 7. And I said, it's midnight. There is no courthouse. I don't know what you're talking about. We have to pay the ticket. What ticket? There is not a ticket. And this went on for a couple of hours through the night. And then he would ask me all night long what time of day it was. And I would show him that it was dark outside through the window. And had no concept of day or night, looking at light during the day gave him no concept whatsoever of what time of day or night it was. And that just really, wow, that just really surprises me. But when you're in that frame of mind and you're hallucinating and such, you're not of a normal frame of mind. So he had his days and nights mixed up, but sadly the bad part about that was he'd stay up the entire night watching TV. He'd sleep like maybe an hour in the morning, and then he'd stay up all day long. So he got very little rest for a couple of days. And then once they switched him over to prepare him for his surgery, then he finally was able to get some sleep. But he kept trying to get out of bed. He wasn't able to use that leg. His leg had no circulation in it. You know, he could have fallen. He couldn't walk at that point. So, anyhow, my point is, be there when they need you. So, he's doing really well now. They moved him over to a rehab facility for physical therapy and you know, mental therapy to help him understand how to cope. And then he'll be able to move back into his apartment, which fortunately is right across the road from the rehab facility, which is super great. So, and I made him a napkin while I was there, so he really appreciates having that. And in the hospital, I had no issues. They had no issues letting me stay there. And they had this sofa, not a sofa, this chair that kind of folded out into a bed. It was very short, but it's still, you know, better than nothing. And then in the rehab center, they did not have anything for an extra person in the room to sleep on, so they brought a couple of extra comforters and stuff and laid those on the floor. That wasn't fun, but I made it through it that night. But then because I was so sick, because I got sick in the hospital, the nurses, some of the staff was sick. Nurses cannot call in sick unless they're dying, I guess, because you know, they work those long shifts and such, and there's only so many of them. So, and of course I'm in the hospital with sick patients and such too. You know, and I'm not staying in the room. I'm walking down the hallways for exercise. I go to the cafeteria, which wasn't really worth the time. So I didn't eat much the whole time I was there. But anyhow, again, back to the point. I'm back. I am back. And the worst is behind us. So that part's good. That part's good. So be there for them when they need you. Be supportive. There's dogs out there. Be there for when they need you. Be supportive. And be caring. Do not be disciplinary. He already got that from his doctors. He already knows what he's done to himself. He already knows that his healing all depends on whether he smokes or not. And he's going to continue to smoke. He's smoked since I've known him. He's smoked since probably a teenager. So smoking's really not that good for you. It just isn't. You know, my neighbors smoke and I sit out with them and I try to sit away from them so that I don't get it in my lungs. But just about everybody around here smokes. I just wish nobody smoked actually, but that's the way it is. So, I think I've said enough, so peace out, love y'all, live the life you love, and please take care of yourselves. And I will catch you later. I still have some other videos that are RV related to make. So, again, live the life you love, don't judge others. Peace. Bye.